Hey, everybody, I'm very excited to let you all know about a new program that we just launched a couple of days ago. And wanted to give you a real rundown on what this program is and what we've got, what it will do for you, and what we want for you to do next as it relates to this new program. All right. So, without further ado, let me introduce it. Here's what we've got: a team of tax experts to receive and monitor your IRS mail for about 83 cents per day. Yeah, that's 83 cents, less than $1 a day, a subscription service. And let me ask you, have you ever received correspondence from the Internal Revenue Service? Maybe you're receiving some right now. A lot of folks that we talk to for the first time are receiving IRS correspondence. And whether it's a levy notice or even a curious letter that you were receiving an unexpected check or some type of a refund, it just, even if momentarily, it makes you start wondering, what is this thing? It's kind of like a cop that pulls up behind you, when you're on the highway. Even if you're doing nothing wrong, it sends a quick chill up your spine. Was I doing something wrong? What's this all about? And it's all because both of those entities, police and the IRS, have a lot of authority. The IRS, especially as it relates to taxes and collecting those taxes. Um, let's get something straight right now. It's not your fault that things are this way. You're one of 99.99% of all taxpayers that are trying to do something, trying to do the right thing. You're not trying to pull one over on the IRS. Yet the IRS has about 1,500 types of these computer-generated letters and notices it uses to communicate with taxpayers. Many of them look the exact same. They look scary. It mails out about 220 million of these letters to taxpayers each year, and much of this mail is in response to a tax code that changed about 4,000 times in the last decade. Yeah, 4,000 times in the last 10 years, which amounts to more than one change per day for the last 10 years. So it's overwhelming, to say the least. Yet, in recent history, the IRS has still been taking on more and more administrative and enforcement tasks, from tax collection and administration of things such as the child tax credit, health care at one point, distributing stimulus checks over and over. That's just nothing to say of the ever-growing, what they call tax gap, that they have been tasked to try and collect, the amount that's the difference between what tax returns are saying is owed to the IRS versus what's actually being collected. That's the IRS's duty. So the way that I think that they have decided to keep up with all of these things that they have to do is to send out loads and loads of IRS mail. They've come up with lots and lots of notices here in order to communicate with the taxpayer without having to actually talk to them. And here's what I mean by that. The IRS has been answering only 2% of the 70 million calls that it received last tax season as it relates to questions from taxpayers. The average hold time was more than 20 minutes. And if you waited more than 30 minutes, oftentimes you were cut off. They call it a courtesy disconnect as a reward for all your patience waiting to talk to a real human. During the pandemic, the time-sensitive computer-generated mail that the IRS routinely sends out and is sending out more and more of each day. At that time, it was sitting in mail bags, I believe, at the IRS, because we got an influx of just a ton of IRS mail, many of which had deadlines already blown in them. They were, we're still receiving some things from 2020 from the IRS that's just lagged because of the mail that was stuck there at the IRS during the pandemic and during the shutdown of the IRS. My observation is, though, that the IRS will somehow always manage to keep up. The question I have for you is, will you be able to keep up? in this process. The Biden administration has just announced it intends to unleash 85,000, that's actually 87,000 new IRS agents over the next decade. And that's just the enforcement division that we're talking about. We're talking about audits. We're talking about criminal enforcement. We're talking about revenue officers, IRS employees that will be responsible for collections, audits, levies, seizures, criminal matters, all of those things as it relates to getting the IRS, getting the government some more money. So who's going to be in your corner? And it's against that question, and it's against that backdrop that I just laid out for you, that we have launched what we have called the Irs Monitoring Plan, or Irs Monitoring Service, from Travis Watkins Tax. And here's what it will do for you. It's going to give you, first and foremost, some peace of mind. Have you ever thought, wouldn't it be nice if there was a tax expert out there that would receive my IRS mail daily, monitor it for any action that I needed to take or immediate threats, and notify me of these immediate threats, or if there's nothing to the notices or correspondence that I'm getting, that they would tell me that as well. Well, that would really level the playing field, I would say. And there are lots of IRS clients that we have that have asked that very question. And that's exactly what the tax monitoring plan is going to be all about. You simply sign an IRS Form 8821. That's a tax information authorization. And in short order, we start receiving your IRS mail just like you do. You'll still get a courtesy copy from the IRS, but you'll know that our team of tax experts is behind the scenes getting those same notices, those same letters and correspondence, that many of which don't make any sense to the layperson. And we'll send you a notification if we see anything that concerns us, or that you should be taking action on for that from that point forward. And here's some examples. Final deadlines to stop a tax levy, a wage levy, or a bank levy, lien or seizure of your home in very extreme circumstances. We can also notify you of IRS audit activity, IRS revenue officer assignments, and those revenue officer requests for documentation that they love to send out when there's a tax issue on the horizon. We can also notify you of amounts that the IRS is claiming that you owe. Whether it's right or wrong, it will report to you what is showing up there nonetheless. IRS requests for payment or additional information from you. That makes up a big part of what the IRS correspondence and notices are these days, is just requests for more information. Paper audits are going up. All kinds of audits are going up in the IRS realm in the coming months, the coming years. So you need somebody in your corner to check on that and make sure you don't blow any of those deadlines. We'll also look at criminal investigations in extreme cases, those that are imminent or underway. Now, all these notices are then stored in our secure encrypted client portal that you can access anytime. Most other taxpayers may never take advantage of their rights because they simply don't fully understand the notices, many of which look all the same. They're confusing, and they don't take any action on these things. They don't enforce their own rights because they don't understand them. And then the deadlines run on them, and then it's too late. They're gone forever. Don't let this happen to you. There's more. See, the IRS records and codes all IRS mail sent before you hired us in the various tax transcripts that the IRS keeps on every taxpayer. Those are known as collectively the master tax file at the IRS. And there's some nifty legislation that allows tax professionals, tax experts, attorneys, CPAs, and accountants, as it relates to Travis Watkins Tax in particular, as professionals, to obtain your master tax file for you with the authorization that you signed. So right out of the gate, here's the things that we're going to tell you. How long the IRS can come after you for any outstanding taxes, That's their statute of limitations. No, they cannot come after you forever. So we can monitor the statute of limitations. We'll tell you what tax returns are showing as unfiled, or if the IRS has filed for you. Remember, they do file tax returns for taxpayers that have not filed them in years. And these are rarely beneficial types of tax returns that they will file for you. So we can show you if you have those types of returns that are on file, or what has yet to be filed. We can assess your audit risk. We can tell you the amounts the IRS claims you owe, including penalties and interest. We can tell you if IRS collection or criminal threats are on the horizon. We can tell you tax debts that may be eligible for bankruptcy. Yes, there are some that are eligible for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. There's a formula for that. And we can let you know if that is something that could be available to you. We'll tell you about conspicuous errors in the IRS records. They make mistakes all the time as to address, marital status. If you've changed your marital status recently, the IRS may not have that information yet in the system, and those can cause all kinds of complications. And maybe most importantly, what we can tell you from looking at those transcripts is if you have appeal rights, in other words, a right to question whatever action or notice that they may be sending to you. So we not only receive these ongoing pieces of IRS mail, we research the old stuff, the stuff that you may have had before you signed up for the Irs Monitoring Service. We send all this vital information to you in a proprietary report card that grades, kind of where you are with the IRS, and we'll update that report card every year. We can update that report card every few months, every quarter, if you like. There are different programs within our IRS monitoring slice that can give you more report cards more frequently as well. So here's the best part of this IRS monitoring plan. There's no red flags. We have taxpayers ask us all the time, doesn't this authorization that I'm filling out to give you authority, tax professional, to get my transcripts and things, doesn't that set off some type of a red flag, an alarm at the IRS? And the answer to that is no. You and your designated authority, that being us in this scenario, have the absolute right to the records that the IRS is collecting on you, the poker hand, if you will. And it allows us to peek at that poker hand without setting off any alarm bells or any red flags. The Irs Disclosures Office is the office at the IRS that handles these authorizations and processing of those things, and they do not have a direct line to the IRS Fraud or Criminal Division unit. They are just paper pushers that are in charge of disclosing. That's why they're the IRS Disclosures Office, the tax information that the IRS is holding on you as it relates to your accounts and your collection of your accounts and notices and whatnot. They're not even looking for those types of things as it relates to your tax transcripts. So no issues with any of that. If you're under the radar, in other words, a lot of people say, I don't want to mess anything up because I know I might owe, but I've been flying under the radar. And that may be true. And if it is true, wouldn't you like to know for a fact, without setting off any alarms in the process, that really is the case? Or if it's not the case, you'd like to know that as well. So the mere fact of us getting those transcripts, getting these analyzed for you, giving you your report card is not going to set off any red flags. All right. So here's what you get. There are 3 types of monitoring services here, IRS monitoring services. There's one for the individual. There is an IRS Monitoring Plus program. And what it does is essentially give you more report cards, like I talked about earlier. And then there's the Irs Monitoring Plan for businesses as well. And let me walk you through what you'd be getting for those. First of all, the individual plan and the tax monitoring plan. The individual plan is $24.99 a month. The Irs Monitoring Plus is $34.99 a month. The business tax monitoring is $49.99 a month. All three of these will monitor your unlimited IRS mailings. We'll research and investigate your transcripts, as we talked about. We'll prepare your annual proprietary report of IRS activity for your eyes only. It's a confidential report. And in the IRS Plus monitoring, the Irs Monitoring Plus and the Irs Monitoring Business Plan, we will also give you a report of your IRS activity on a monthly or quarterly basis, whichever you would choose. With all three packages, you can call our IRS experts with questions here at Travis Watkins Tax. With all three plans, you get 25% off any tax preparation services that would be needed in our investigative process. In other words, if we find out there's 3 unfiled tax returns, you'll want to get those tax returns filed, and we'll send you over to our tax preparation department. You would get 25% off there since you're a member of one of these IRS monitoring plans. You also have 24/7 access to that client portal that we talked about, where all these things are housed and available to you at your fingertips 24 hours a day. And most importantly, you get peace of mind that nothing falls through the cracks. What all these plans are is essentially a very light version of what you would pay for if you were a full client of Travis Watkins Tax. This monitoring service, though, doesn't require you to pay to become a full-on client, where we do much more in-depth things to actually represent clients in this process. What you're getting here is month-to-month monitoring with the ability, the safety net, really, to be able to talk to us about any questions that you might have there along the way without going all in on a representation package with our services. Given the multitude of confusing notices and correspondence at the IRS that they're sending to everyone now, this program is perfect for any taxpayer in America. But look, it's an absolute no-brainer if you have the slightest inkling, the slightest suspicion that you may owe the IRS some amount, or you have unfiled tax returns on there. Remember, nothing really great comes certified mail from the IRS when you suspect that there's a tax problem, okay? It just doesn't happen. Let us open that scary tax mail for you and analyze it and report back to you. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested, here's what I want you to do next. I want you to log on to Travis Watkins Tax. That's our main site. And up in the left-hand corner, you will see a tab for IRS Monitoring Service up in the left-hand corner. If you wait about 3 seconds, there's a banner that actually comes down and asks you if you'd like IRS monitoring services or if you need immediate help, and that would be our full-on tax resolution services. If you're interested in IRS monitoring, click either one of those, either the IRS monitoring service button or the link at the top left-hand corner of the web page, and you'll choose from there your plan that you want to follow through the prompts of there'll be a terms of services agreement, as well as the different payment options that we just briefly ran through here just a minute ago. Then you'll be prompted to download our app from the Apple Store to join your member portal, and instructions for filling out the authorization, that 8821 form that allows us to get these IRS mail correspondence and obtain those tax transcripts that we talked about for your review. And then finally, you'll get some instructions there. An email will populate almost immediately that walks you through the authorization process and how to get that authorization back to us so we can get it onto the IRS and start getting your mail monitored. All right. I wanted to kind of wrap up with a couple of questions that we have already received about the monitoring service. I think this kind of helps right out of the gate here. If you're ready to move forward, by all means, do so. This is just kind of icing on the cake. But we have heard, a lot of taxpayers want to know, what's the synopsis here and how does it all work? And here's kind of how it works. Instead of paying a tax lawyer or other tax professional by the hour or all up front, you pay a small monthly fee starting at $24.95 and have a team of tax experts, that's lawyers, accountants, enrolled agents, financial analysts on your side to receive your IRS correspondence and monitor it for things that may require your action. Consultation with the team, review of your IRS notices and transcripts are included as standard benefits. Once the IRS processes your authorization, we start the monitoring process and we'll reach out to you if we see items of concern. Our customer support then will connect you with one of our resolution specialists if there is something that we see that concerns us or would be of concern to you, and discuss further steps that would need to be taken for full relief. During your membership, you can access all the IRS correspondence we receive in that organized file in your member portal anytime, from anywhere. It's all up in the cloud. Next question, does the plan uncover, I'll put uncover rather than just cover, pre-existing tax issues? And the answer to that is yes. Not only do we monitor IRS mail from the moment that the IRS accepts and processes our IRS Form 8821 authorization, we'll also research and investigate old notices and more via the IRS Master Tax File. They go back about 10 years, and that's really about where we would go back then as well. But that's a pretty good swath of time there. If there is anything beyond that period of time, it's probably already off of the IRS's radar. Next question, how long after I join can I use the plan? Well, you can use your plan as soon as your membership application is reviewed and your account is set up, which is virtually instantaneous from the IRS monitoring page. The sooner you return the authorization form, the quicker the IRS can process it and get us that information that we need to start reviewing your IRS correspondence and records. The IRS also has a process to fast track authorization directly through an IRS portal within 24 hours. That's really just starting to get off the ground, but we're all lined up to start rolling that out here as well. Now, if the IRS monitoring plan benefits don't cover my specific situation, how much is it going to cost me? Well, that's a difficult question to answer because every IRS case, is different. There's different levels of complexity. The thing that I can tell you is that we would be doing this if you, we will be talking to you about anything that we see in your file. And if you choose to go forward with us, you would get those services for 25% off. So, that you're not obligated by any means to use Travis Watkins Tax from that point. However, you'll get that discount, which is very competitive. It certainly discounts what I think is competitive in the IRS tax help space, since you are a member of the IRS Monitoring Services Plan. All right. Next question, how do I cancel? What's the cancellation policy? Well, you can cancel your membership at any time for any reason. Once your membership is canceled, we refund any unused portion of your membership fee on a pro rata basis. One of the questions we got was, how can you provide all these services for such a small monthly fee? Well, if we were doing this, lawyers and other tax professionals charge hundreds of dollars an hour for a known tax problem. folks are wondering how we can do this for $24.95 a month. And the point is, many of our members don't have tax issues that pop up regularly on every month basis. Therefore, the fees we collect allow us to provide services to members that do not need it and still make a fair profit at the same time. You save money in that scenario. You get protected. We make a fair profit. It's a win-win all the way around. And a few things in life are that simple, but this one is. Last question, who's covered under the business plans? It's important to note that our business plans cover your business, not you personally. Each business plan allows you to designate an authorized spokesperson to work with us on behalf of your organization. The designated person must be an owner, partner, or officer of the company. So please note, many businesses contain a component, business taxes rather, contain a component of some type of personal liability for the owners, partners, and responsible persons, they call them. If you need monitoring help, please check out our personal plans if you are one of those business owners or top brass at a company and you suspect that the IRS may have some component of personal liability baked into the business tax. So get both is what I would recommend, and just get it checked out, and then you'll know. So once again, we're very excited about bringing this Irs monitoring to the public. We think it's going to do a lot of good and get a lot of people the information that they need. Knowledge is power in this whole scenario, and it's nice to have the protection, really. Think of it kind of as an insurance policy against a major surprise from the IRS, or a confusing misunderstanding that could be looming on the horizon with the very busy IRS, by just simply being a part of a subscription service that's very low cost to you on a month-to-month basis. All right. Stay tuned. We'll have more about the IRS monitoring service as it branches out here. But thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.